If there was ever a bigger-than-life comedian who graced the halls of Saturday Night Live, you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone better than Chris Farley.
I thought you were trying to lose weight.
Lay off me, I'm starving.
Diet starts Monday.
Born and raised in Wisconsin, Chris went on to study improv comedy at Second City before making it big on his true center stage at Saturday Night Live. But what strikes me the most about someone like Chris is that he never seemed to accept his status as one of the best comedians on the show, despite so many stories of high praise by others.
No, he was one of those guys you couldn't understand, He kept saying, if only I could be as funny as John Belushi. I said, you're way funnier than John Belushi. I don't even think John Belushi's funny. I think he's like a serious actor that was kind of like tortured. But when you see interviews with him, he wasn't a funny person,
right.
And so, it always stuns me that a person can be so unaware. He's walking through life and all he hears is laughter.
I know.
And for some reason,
that was the whole...
Why could someone feel like this despite not only having compliments from peers, but also having the very real-time feedback of receiving laughs and applause from the audience? Maybe there's an element of humility to it, but in my eyes, it could also be that classic case that we are our own worst enemy, and the self-doubt of anyone who does comedy could likely have crept in with Chris Farley. When I watch his interviews, I also notice this air of self-deprecating humor with his own jokes. And I'm not talking about jokes at his own expense, but rather some doubts about whether his work outside SNL was as funny as everyone thought he was.
Because you do something like that, like 10, 15 times, right?
Yeah, but you know what happened on that one? It was unbelievable because I missed my mark, like I do on occasion. It's a brain thing. I don't think the guy's got any brains. And I went off the wrong mark and I hit straight into a wooden pole. I mean, man, it was like hitting a backer.
It's hard to say exactly because obviously I wasn't there, and I do not know the man personally, but I infer that it's possible that it was hard for Chris to separate the two models of being a comedian versus being a performer. And it's possible Chris was conflating the two. In a lot of ways, you can be both at the same time, but from watching his sketches and appearances on talk shows, to me, Chris was a fantastic performer and a great comedian.
Now I wonder, Brian, from what I've heard, you're using your paper not for writing, but for rolling doobies. You're gonna be doing a lot of doobie rolling when you're living in a van down by the river.
With every single appearance he had on TV, he seemed to truly give it his all. He is without a doubt one of the best, if not the best, physical comedians of the modern era, who uses everything in his physical comedic playbook to give the funniest performance that he can. This is what made him iconic and why he's easily one of my favorite comedians from SNL.
Zip it, pal! Your showbiz antics won't give you jack squat! We got a heck of a crowd here tonight. Look at this audience. Yeah! Hallelujah! Look at you!
But while he battled weight loss and drug and alcohol addiction, I worried that his image of himself was severely battered with thoughts that he was only funny because of his weight, and that he wasn't the traditional comedian who used just a microphone to make people laugh. Which is why I want to add that comedy comes in so many different strokes or from so many different places, that for those having fears or issues themselves, look towards examples like Chris, who truly shifted the way we all could laugh towards a physical domain, and look to him as a shining example of someone who stood out amongst the rest, who rose up from above the crowd, and who truly knew how to capture an audience. He was a bright, energetic, and loud soul who you could clearly see had much of that same youthful exuberance we all had as a child. He was a reminder that growing up was optional, and that being someone funny was a calling to never take life too seriously, or else you'd forget to enjoy living it. That's what made Chris so special, and why he will always remain the funniest man in the room.
I really love this movie.
Yeah.
I hope that everyone will like it because we had fun making it, and I think it's really good.
I hope so too. I hope it's a huge hit for you and for David Spade and everybody else as well.
Because if I don't, I'm going back to Wisconsin on the farm, so go to it now. No, that was stupid too. That shouldn't have come to that.
Well, you're very entertaining and a very nice guy. I appreciate you coming over to say hello tonight.
Thanks, Dave.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Good luck, Chris. Thank you
a
very
lot,
much.
Dave.
Chris Farley.
I pulled into Nazareth, was feeling about half-past dead. I just need some place where I can lay my head. Hey, mister, can you tell me where a man might find a bed? He just grinned and shook my hand, no was all he said. Take a load off, Fanny. Take a load for free. Take a load off, Fanny. And you put the load right on me.
And then I think when the audience likes it better when we have fun with it. You know, if we're just sit there stale doing our lines, they're not. But there's a fine line. Like we can't. Like sometimes we go too far. And like I'll turn to like Adam or David, and like I'll try to make them laugh. Like I'll deliver a line like this. So the audience can't see, you know, and my eyes are crossed and like going, "Oh, is that right? Well, I talked to Bellissima, you know." And then he's like, "Bellissima, you know."
All right.